Shalom, shalom, Yasharal. Shalom. I pray all is well. Um, been trying to get at y'all and bring you a little info, fresh from the Most High through His Ruach HaKodesh, the set apart spirit that brings and leads us to all truth, right? Look at this picture I found in my diggings. I hate to say research because the naysayers, those who will tell you there's no way I could even be in a relationship with the Most High, let alone hear from Him, because I'm a sinner. And I'm not a preacher, no degrees in theology. Who am I, right? Who are you? It was research, though. I was researching it up, and without a license. I'm not a professional researcher, so I could get in trouble, I guess, according to the naysayers, for researching and not having a license to do so, I guess. But I was doing it, so eat your heart out, naysayers. I was researching it up, and I found this picture. Look at this. Just as I suspected. No, but check it out. Promised Land. North America and Central America. And this is from, I believe, a Mormon, maybe, because it's got Nephi, Zarahemla, and let's see. I thought there was, oh yeah, that word with the L. I can't pronounce it. But I know most are going to say, oh, the Mormon, it was from the Book of Mormon. Garbage. Not true. You probably, well, you don't want to hear this, but it's the truth. That is pride. If you won't look at it, like I've been saying, I know I like to beat dead horses and spin around and around and around. But like I was telling my son today, I was explaining to him what it means when you say someone is a seasoned vet, right? I give him an example of someone that he knows and can kind of relate. Like I use Tom Brady. I said, would you say Tom Brady is a vet? And he said, yeah. I said, that just means that he's been in the league. He's played football for a while, professionally. But seasoned. I said, if you are a rookie in the NFL, you're like a pine needle on a redwood that's like 300 feet tall. Maybe a half of a pine needle. If you're a rookie and you've played one game. I said, the only way to become a seasoned vet is experience. Tom Brady, when he snaps the ball under center, he knows where the halfback's going to be. He knows what the offensive linemen are going to do, where the fullback's going to go. And the receivers. He knows what the defense, the way they were lined up. He knows probably what kind of play they're running defensively. He knows how to look off the safeties. All those little things, we could go on. And there's only one way that he would know that. You can't just know it. Someone can't just tell you that. The only way to know something like that, to be that skilled, that knowledgeable regarding anything, is experience. He's had to do that thousands and thousands and thousands of times. If you think you know more than Lutherans or Mormons, let's just say Muslims, about anything, first of all, how could you know that? How could you know if you know more? Or how could you know if what they say is true is false? The only way you would know is to test it, to look at it. If you don't look, and if you don't even know what they're saying, if you don't know what they say, but you say it's false, that's not judging a situation. That's not being having discernment. That's slander. That's hatred. When you get right down to it, to the brass tacks, you're hating your neighbor. Yeah, if you tested it and you seen that it was false and it was meant to lead people astray, then you can call it just as you see it, as it is. But like I said, obviously the Most High led me to the physical area I was in when I met Stanford, who I talked to tonight. And I mentioned before that if he ever seen my YouTube and Facebook, they might not ever let him call me or talk to me again. I have no idea if that's what they would do, or if they would just try to dunk me in a 55-gallon drum of holy water. I don't know. But we might find out, because the cat's out the bag. He asked, and if you're listening to this, if you happen to join in, my friend, how's it going? Yeah, he asked what my Facebook handle was, but then I sent him a video. So, you know what? The suspense was just killing me anyway. So, it's something that I thought about, because y'all know, how I've talked about him, and like I was just saying, whether you believe me or not, I mean, the Most High led me to meeting him. It was by appointment, because of this right here. That Nephi and those names are in the Book of Mormon. I can't say for sure that a Mormon wrote that or made this picture, but I'm pretty sure they did. And what Stanford and his friend mentioned to me when I first went and met them was that one thing that they believe is that the New Jerusalem will be in America. I think that's how what Stanford's friend or elder, whatever, said. Something along those lines. And I can tell you by reading what I have read from the Book of Mormon and other places relating to the Mormons or the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which I found out since knowing Stanford that that's their church, the Mormons church, I guess. The only way to know, to be seasoned, would be to live, your life eager, anxious to receive all and every word that comes from the mouth of Abba Yahuwah. I had no idea that they believed that about America before I met them, and anybody, any of my subs that remember what I said, like the night I met him, how I could tell he was hungry, like me. And that's kind of why I wanted to go hang out with him, talk to him. I didn't know that they felt that way. I didn't know that one of the men in that book, whether it's true or not, claimed that the Most High told him to leave Israel or Jerusalem, build a boat, I think that's what he said, and go to go somewhere else. And I think that's what they said, that he landed in Central America and he had some scrolls or books that was contained some stuff that was super important. I don't remember what he said was in them that was so important, but that he lost them in Central America. And y'all know that Facebook took the article down, the post I put up a while back about the article of the friar that burned a bunch of books down. And that's him right there. This is the picture that I put up on Facebook, a screenshot of this. And the article is about him and what they call his act of faith, right? And let's see, if burning the Maya books, the 1562 tragedy at Mani, however you say that, retelling a horrific story of the devastating collision of a Franciscan friar's act of faith and traditional indigenous culture. Yeah, I couldn't remember what article had the story about this guy in it, and I've looked, and I just found it again yesterday. And it might not be in this particular article, which I read about this and a few other things related to Central America and this friar, other friars, the office of the Inquisition in Mexico City back then, and how someone believed that there was knowledge that was destroyed, that talked about the land, the promised land. right here. At that time, the Franciscan order in America had the religious monopoly in conquered lands and answered to the seat of the Holy Inquisition in Mexico City, administrator of religious affairs. Of note is the fact that the Treaty of, I'm not even going to try, of 1524 granted the rights of conquest of most of the Americas to Spain, with the understanding that the conquistadors would conquer land and riches for the kings at Granada, but harvest souls for the Pope in Rome. And that goes back to the papal bull there. Long story for another video maybe. But Stanford called me tonight, and I talked to him, and another guy was with him tonight that I'd never talked to before, another elder, I think. Uh, and we were talking about basically pride and humility. And he read a verse from I think the Book of Mormon about faith and works, and which was something that I just read last night. There was a couple things that he read to me over the phone tonight that I just had read last night. And it all had the same theme, and that is the same theme that the post I put on Facebook this morning is about. It's from James 2:19. You all know it, I'm sure. It's the scripture where he says, show me your faith without works, right? Faith without works is dead. Would it be safe to say that anyone who would be afraid to talk to Stanford because he's a Mormon, or read from his book, the Book of Mormons, or be afraid for me that I'm gonna become a Mormon now, or somehow be injured by this whole affair, would it be safe to say that what they said, how they showed me they were afraid that they wouldn't do it, like it's the plague, would it be safe to say that that's a work based on their faith or the lack thereof? That if you have faith in the Most High and you've been led, like I have, to seeing the land for where it truly is, it all it has everything to do with who we are, where we're from, and it's exposing wickedness, lies, deception, revealing truth. If you want to say that the truth of where the land of inheritance is, the promised land, and knowing that you've been lied to about it, if you want to say that that's not important, that right there, would it be safe to say that that's a work of your faith or the lack of it? If you don't want to know or see how it could be of no importance, knowing that, and you just want to go on believing a lie, telling people what could possibly be a lie because you didn't look into it, that's a work. You know, I don't think we have to envision someone with a shovel in their hand when we think about what a work would be. They uh, acted, their actions was based off of what or how they believe. And like me and Stanford was talking when he called tonight, talking about this stuff, bringing these sort of scenarios out between us believers. It's not about pointing fingers at those people. It's more about understanding more of ourselves. Is this something that we are doing? And why? Well, do you want to be a seasoned vet? Is there some things that you're just above, like, you're so smart that you don't need to consider these things, or you don't know all you need to know about it? You've read that all up, any information regarding what we're talking about? Or is it something that you know for sure is evil and you best not touch it because it could spoil you somehow? No. My faith, apparently, the proofs in the fruity pudding that I've been digging into this, and y'all know it, like a child. Not childish, but where he leads, I'll follow. And all of those who have been stiff-necked and pointed fingers and made accusations, have done all that with no information. All of what they've said and done has been based on what they've heard, or, some Dateline special they saw in the 90s about Mormons and polygamy. Like I said too, when I went to meet him for the first time, Abba was showing me one of the key points that he was wanting me to get buried down in me was we must never put our faith in man. Never. And what that means is, if a man tells you that Mormons are no good, if you live your life, if you act on that only because someone told you so, that's pride. Humility would be for you to say, well, I've never seen any evidence of what he's claiming. Let me look for myself. And if he's right, he's right. But if you base your theory, your belief on hearsay, you're putting your faith in man. And Abba was showing me that there are truths. There's a lot of truth that I can find from different walks, different people. And there's also a lot of BS. If I'm afraid, though, to go in somewhere and extract that truth out from what someone calls a lion's den, do I have faith? I'm not supposed to walk with in fear, but boldly, knowing that the Most High will protect me. And whatever happens, happens. But if I am afraid to go in there and find what he could possibly be wanting me to see, that could be super valuable. If I uh, refuse to walk up in somewhere because I'm afraid, I'll miss out on something he has for me. And the action that I displayed was based on fear and the lack of faith, which obviously is not a childlike faith. And the Messiah Yahusha said, you'll by no means enter into the kingdom unless you have a faith that could compare to a little child. I've mentioned before that quite a few people uh, told me that I need to be worried about more important things like salvation, and I shouldn't be worried about this, right? Like I just said, the Messiah said, I'm sure you've read it, that unless your faith can compare to a little child, you will not enter into the kingdom, which is salvation. Yahusha in John 6 said uh, that he who believes will by no means perish, will have everlasting life. You could basically sum up the scriptures. Uh, the reason you need to adhere, be a doer of the word, is it's there to teach you to be humble and meek and not be prideful. For all of you, anyone who listens to this and you still refuse to even look in to the promised land, to what I've been shouting, you're refusing to look into it because the Rothschilds told you that it's where you think it is. You don't believe that there's any truth in it. You don't believe me when I tell you that it is true, but yet you haven't looked into it, my friend, my brethren, beloved. That's pride. And if it is true, and it is, not only are you being prideful, but you're denying what the Most High has given you, and that's your land of inheritance, your inheritance. If you don't look into it, that's being stiff-necked, the opposite of a childlike faith. There's plenty of info that I can share with you regarding this, and you have to know that it comes from, like that book, When the Rocks Cry Out. A man wrote that, but he was led to a lot of truth. He found a lot of truth that will show you that the land is out there. And then you confirm that with Scripture, with the words of the Most High. But you have to understand that that guy that wrote that might say something in error because he's a man. But that doesn't mean that you can't take the truth that he can share with you. Like I've been saying, the worst part of all this, the most damaging, is the fact that the pride that is going to destroy the people it will destroy, they don't even realize that they're proud, that they're prideful. They don't see what they're doing as pride, but it is. If you claim to know something is false, but yet you don't even give it a second to see whether it is or not, you're claiming that you know something that you could in no way know. That's pride. Check it out. I said before, I don't really want to talk about our current situation anymore as far as like deltas and all that stuff goes. I have noticed, though, that even a few people are saying that the whole situation is going to be over, and that the Omicron is the last boogeyman. If you remember, a long time ago, I said that they like to throw curveballs, and that everything they say, you can pretty much take it to the bank that the opposite is actually fact. Test it, study to show yourself approved, but I can see that the lockdowns around the world, not here, are intensifying, and I'm sure that that will be the case here someday. But for some reason, they're starting to ease up a little bit, and usually that's telltale that something, a game changer, is right around the corner. So it's a heads up, like BP says. Be safe. I love y'all. If you got any questions about this, please do ask me. But like always, do your own research. Ask Abba to lead you to all truth through his Ruach, and he will. Because, why? Because he is the Most High. Abba Yahuwah is his name. He's our wonderful creator who gets all esteem, all honor, all praise, and all glory all the time. But for now, peace out, D's out.